Hey, it's Klayre Yarrish here with,
Professor Stacy Wittrock.
and today we're going to be talking about the criminology major and all of its facts. So, Stacy, what is your role at MU?
I am the Assistant Professor of Criminology.
If you can solve one famous unsolved crime, which one would it be and why?
I think I would want to solve the John Benet Ramsey case because there's a lot of controversy about what happened there and a lot is very unclear. So we don't really know what happened to her, and it's really interesting to find out.
What is one misconception that people often have about criminology?
A lot of people think that criminology is all about law enforcement and criminal justice. And while we do investigate those sorts of topics, it's not just about that. We want to know um, the whys of why people commit crime.
What moment in your career made you realize that you picked the right path?
Well, I've always been interested in crime and criminology, why people commit crime. And then I had done an internship when I was an undergraduate at a probation office. And I had met a young man who was on probation, and he really didn't have a lot of chances in life. So his family structure was very unstable. He didn't have a lot of support. And we ended up having to revoke his probation because he wasn't able to comply with all of the terms with community service and employment. And so that really sort of left me wondering if that was the right path to go. And I felt like I needed to study more about why people commit crime instead of sort of reinforcing what is already happening.
Who is your favorite fictional crime detective, and how does their work compare to reality?
Okay, I would have to say that my favorite fictional crime detective would be Alex Cross from the James Patterson series. Um, he does not do the work that most criminologists do. So he's a psychiatrist as well, and a detective, and he works in the FBI at some point. Most criminologists don't actually do all three of those things, so they'll pick one area or another.
If you could pick any superpower to help you with criminology, which would it be?
I think I would want to be invisible because then I could kind of unobtrusively observe what happens in groups to find out, what are the things that push people or motivate people to crime.
What is a common myth about criminals or the justice system that you would like to debunk?
I think probably a myth I would most like to debunk is the myth that all criminals choose to actually commit a particular crime. I feel like and research shows people's choices are limited by some social factors that make a difference. And so it's not always a really clear cut choice on whether or not to commit a crime.
If you could bring any guest speaker, dead or alive, to talk to your class, who would you bring?
I think that I would bring Edwin Sutherland because he's one of the famous criminologists, and he really was the beginning of social learning theory in criminology. And so I feel like he would have a lot to offer and a lot to say to our students.
What are you most excited about for teaching criminology at Misericordia University?
I have to say, I'm excited about everything. I'm especially excited that our criminology program is starting up on the 100th anniversary. I think that's really special and has some good omen, hopefully, for us. But I'm really excited about broadening students' minds and getting them to see things from different perspectives and hopefully challenging some of those myths that are out there.
And that's a wrap on today's Ms. on the Mic featuring our guest,
Professor Stacy Wittrock.